and walking aimlessly and without direction, I saw my aunt who suffered in deep agony. She died with resentment of her husband. Her heart was filled with hatred over separation from divorce. She did not want her husband to leave her for another woman. The demons dismembered her body. My cousin Hugo, who died in an accident, is in hell. He, despite being a Christian, lived in strife with his father and did not honor him. He was always seeing defects in his father's personality. And everything bad that happened to him he blamed his mother. He did not assume his faults and responsibility and sought someone from the family to blame. For him, all of his family were wrong and thought he was right in everything. He never repented of his sins. He did not assume that he was in sin and needed to be sanctified. The demons were grinding his whole body in hell. I saw my pastor's wife in hell. She died of cancer and the whole church believes she is in heaven. She went to hell for walking in lust. Her body is in a pit of fire consuming her flesh, leaving only the charred skeleton. When she saw me, she asked for my help. In hell, there are more Christians than we imagine. I went to the section of a pastor who coveted his neighbor's wife. He died with this desire and lost his salvation. I went to the section where I saw a missionary who had an impure heart. He felt sexual desires for his mission friend's wife. In that same section, I saw an evangelist who had immoral thoughts and fantasized about having sex with prostitutes. He did not prostitute himself, but he died with that desire. A demon opened his skull and ripped out his brain. The demon said, "Your brain is unclean because of these unclean thoughts." The demon threw his brain into the fire, and yet the Christian felt pain without his head mass. I saw an elder from my church who died 10 years ago. He was lustful of the Christian women of the church despite his being married. A demon ripped out his heart and threw it into a large frying pan. The demon said, "His heart is lustful and he committed adultery in thought by betraying his wife." I went to the section and saw the Christian slanderers. They invented lies to destroy ministries within their churches. They wanted to keep the offices of the churches and invented lies to harm the workers. I saw Christians who had no mercy on their neighbor. They had financial conditions and refused to help their neighbors. They were greedy and foolish. I saw Christians who had envy and jealousy. They were jealous of their pastor's closeness to other members. A sister was in hell for being jealous of her friend in church. She even made intrigues of all the people who approached her friend. She wanted the friendship just for her. And because of these things she is in hell because of jealousy. I went to the section and saw a group of Christians who are in hell for being disappointed with God. They failed to succeed in their professions and rebelled against God. They were frustrated not to succeed in their material lives and blamed God for failing to honor their faith. They died in these sins and are in hell. I went to the section where the vain Christians are. They had many cars, land, and apartments. They spent the money to make their lives luxurious and extravagant. Vanity is something that wants to appear and get the attention of the world, saying, "Look at me, don't you see me? I am different." They are in hell for living in ostentation. I went to the section of Christians addicted to pornographic films. To my surprise, I saw Deacon Edgar, an old friend of my father's. I thought he was of salvation. He is there for not being able to get rid of the pornographic films. He had his wife, but he could not fulfill his desire with her. He only felt pleasure when he watched a movie. The wife had no use in the sexual act and suffered a betrayal. Her husband betrayed her by thinking of pornographic actresses. I saw another Christian who is in hell for watching pornographic movies and made his wife a prostitute, imitating all the scenes that happened in the movies. I saw a name written on the plaque saying, "Place of the Immoral." I went to the section of the impure. There are men and women who have sex with animals. Men who had sex with the corpses. They suffered the worst tortures and mutilations in hell. The Lord Jesus did not allow me to go to other sections in hell. I only went to the sections of Christians that were lost. After the last place I visited, a bright light came up to me and shone there. The light took me out of hell and took me into the air where I found a tall, strong angel with the sword in his hand. The angel looked at me and said, Speak to the church that is going through difficulty what was revealed to you. Many have murmured instead of praying and strengthening their covenant.